Kurapika jumps from his bed, scared awake by a nightmare of Melody playing the Dark Sonata. He looks over at a still sleeping Killua and wonders if he made a mistake, bringing Killua into this, but figures it was bound to happen with Kaluto also wrapped up in what the Phantom Trope was doing. While Kurapika is lost in his thoughts, Killua finally wakes up and checks his phone as he makes himself breakfast. "Good morning," Killua shouts out to Kurapika. "You want some cereal?" "No thank you," Kurapika replies with a exhausted yawn. "You need to make sure to take care of yourself. You can't fight the bad guys on an empty stomach," Killua says, jokingly lecturing his friend until he sits down for some food. Kurapika is anxious to continue after the troop, but does acknowledge he's been skipping a lot of meals, so he thanks Killua for making him eat as the two catch up over their food. After some small talk, Kurapika surprises Killua, turning to him and asking, "Do you think I'm crazy for doing all this?" Killua thinks for a moment before saying, "I've known a lot of crazy people, and you're nowhere near the top of the list. I know I've had to do a lot of thinking about myself and questioning if I was crazy to figure out what's right for me," Killua says, "but everything that's happened has helped me find out what I want from life." "Wow," Kurapika says, before asking, "What did you decide you wanted?" Killua smiles and tells him, "Well, after growing up killing for my family and not really being happy until I met all you guys at the hunter exams, I decided I just want to live a happy life with my friends and the people I care about, like Aluka and hopefully Kaluto. But I just want the people I care about to be happy, you know? So I know this is important to you, that's why despite not really wanting to fight the Phantom Troop, I will, as long as it means you and Kaluto can be happy." Kurapika is now the one surprised by Killua and how he's grown into such a caring and kind friend since they met at the hunter exams all those years ago. Kurapika again thanks Killua for having his back, but inside he wonders how Killua can have more conviction in helping his friends than Killua himself has in getting his revenge on the troop. Kurapika wonders if he should share his doubts about killing the troop with Killua, but tells himself, "No, I already dragged Killua into my problem, the least I can do is finish this. After it's done, there will be time for second guessing and living with my choices." Kurapika grabs his notebook out of his bag so he can start planning their next move when a knock on the door stops him. Killua looks back asking, "Were you expecting someone?" "No, I wasn't." "You think it's Hisoka?" Killua continues. Kurapika carefully looks out the door's peephole, but sees nothing. Kurapika looks at Killua and warns him to get ready for anything as he slowly opens the door. But suddenly, Kurapika is pushed out into the hallway by a smiling Killua. Confused, Kurapika looks over and is shocked to see a familiar face at the end of the hallway. "Long time no see, Kurapika," the voice calls out as the figure rushes down the hall to meet him. Killua laughs at Kurapika saying, "You should have seen your face, we got you good." But it finally makes sense as Gon helps Kurapika to his feet and says, "I'm finally ready to help. I hope it's not too late." Kurapika hugs Gon saying, "When did you get here? I've been trying to get up with you forever." Gon smiles. "Yeah, sorry, I always meant to call you back, but I guess I forgot." The three friends quickly rush back into their hotel room as the group again catches up on what Gon's been up to. He explains his tough daily training with Ging to completely relearn his ninja. "At first it went by real fast, as I was already pretty good at the basics, but soon Dad turned the training up way beyond anything Bisky had us do. But it was worth it, I think. I'm more than back to full strength," Gon brags, as his aura begins to intensify with just the thought of testing his theory against the troop. Killua tells himself he's happy Gon hasn't changed much since his training with his dad, but he's also slightly worried for Gon's safety. So he places his hand on Gon's shoulder, laughing as he asks Gon not to do anything crazy this time. But Gon just smiles, saying, "I promise. But now it's time to catch me up on what's going on with the troop so we can finish this." As the three boys go over the remaining 6 troop members, a news alert flashes over the TV and through their phones to evacuate the area. Kurapika stops and turns the volume up enough for everyone to hear. The news anchor urges anybody in a 5-mile radius of Heaven's Arena to find safety, as the criminal organization known as the Phantom Troop has taken over the arena and may be planning to attack the city, much like they did in York New. The broadcast focus shifts to a helicopter team with a live view of the massive building, showing that the troop have indeed taken it over. The cameraman zooms in on a massive screen surrounding the building that the troop are using to broadcast their message to the city. Crollo stands in front of the other 5 members as he speaks to the public. He says, "I am not as bad as you all think I am. I do everything I do for a purpose. But when plans change, you have to adapt or be left behind. And while I've been in this city, me and my family have been targeted and attacked endlessly. So, in an effort to protect ourselves, we've decided to turn Heaven's Arena into our new base of operations. If anyone has a problem with this, come and stop us. The troupe then leave as Melody steps in front of the camera. Killua quickly grabs the remote and mutes the TV as she begins to play her flute. They can't hear what she's playing, but they all know as the chopper begins to spin out of control and crash. They can only hope this horrible attack wasn't heard by too many people. Kurapika turns off the TV and Gon bursts from his seat, demanding they all face the troupe now. But cooler heads prevail as Killua talks Gon back down just long enough to be interrupted by another knock at the door. The three hunters can tell from the Nin leaking in from behind the door it's Hisoka. Killua and Kurapika look at Gon for his reaction, but he just asks if they're going to let this guy in or not. So, they swiftly let the clown in, certain he's here to discuss what they just saw on the news. Hisoka confidently walks in, instantly noticing Gon's presence and asking him how long he's been in town. Gon keeps a stern face, simply replying, "Long enough to be caught up with the situation." Hisoka walks right past the other two hunters, quietly asking Gon, "Do you remember what I told you last time we saw each other?" with a devious smile. Gon steps forward, loudly warning Hisoka not to step out of line. "I came here to help Kurapika, not waste my time with you. If you get in any of our ways, I will take you out myself, Phantom Troop or not." The room is silent, waiting for Hisoka's response, but he simply turns around saying, "Well, it's no fun if you're not scared. I'm not here to kill you, Gon. I'm here to discuss the troupe. I'm sure you all saw what happened at Heaven's Arena?" Kurapika answers saying, "Of course, that's what we were talking about before you came. Gon thinks we need to go in there as quick as possible, but me and Killua are thinking we need a plan first." Hisoka thinks for a moment, but confidently sides with Gon, saying, "Any time we take making a plan will just help the troupe. I say we go now while they're still setting up, and try taking out as many as we can before they even know what hit them." Killua chimes in saying, "Sure, that would be nice, but what are we going to do about Melody?" Kurapika speaks up, but Hisoka stops him, saying, "As I've said from the start, I'll be the one killing Chrollo, so let me worry about that. No offense, Kurapika, but your friend is dead, so if we waste time thinking about her, we'll just be doing the troupe another favor." Kurapika swallows his pride and anger long enough to ask, "What about the Dark Sonata? Did you make a special bungee gum for that, or do you have a different plan?" Hisoka laughs, saying, "My normal bungee gum will be enough for me, I promise. You'll all have to find your own way to survive that horrible song." Kurapika tells Hisoka, "If you can actually get Chrollo alone and not die from the music, we should all be fine. Chrollo wouldn't risk killing his own people by playing it on the speaker system. So if we can just separate the troupe and win our own fights, we have a good chance of all walking out alive. We just have to trust and work together," Kurapika emphasizes towards Gon, but more specifically Hisoka. Killua breaks the tension by adding, "If we head out now, it will be just before dark by the time we get there. We can maybe think of a plan while we drive." The four men all agree it's now or never and begin racing to their final confrontation with the spider. A quiet tension fills the air as they all make their way through the panicked city as they finally get close enough to see Heaven's Arena. They see the news helicopter from before crashed into the side of the giant building, seemingly destroying all the screens and speakers the troupe had been using to broadcast the Dark Sonata. "That's pretty lucky," Killua points out, as they exit the vehicle and make their final preparations. "Yeah, Kurapika agrees, but keep your earplugs just in case. We can't make any mistakes in here, alright? Just like we talked about, we attack quickly before they even have a chance to defend themselves." They all nod in agreement. While inside Heaven's Arena, the troupe is scrambling to finish preparation. All that's left to finish is the first floor. If we get this new speaker system down here, they won't even be able to enter the building, the troupe confidently laugh. But before they can even start, Killua bursts into the room with his Godspeed, and before anyone can react, he reaches Nobunaga and paralyzes him with a taser-like touch. Killua then dashes to Maki, barely managing to stop her as well before Chrollo shouts out to warn everyone of the sudden assault. Gon and the others quickly rush in behind Killua, but as the spiders scramble to defend themselves, Gon heads straight to the immobilized Nobunaga and lands a thunderous punch, sending the troop member flying into the other room. Hisoka then follows up by quickly using his bungee gum to completely tangle Machi and pin her to the ground. This lets both sides regroup and realize the fight has become even in an instant. As the 8-man stare at each other, waiting to see who makes the next move, Chrollo tells Kaluto and Phaeton to start defending so he can use his specialized nin ability to summon what remains of Melody's body. And without missing a beat, Kaluto and Phaeton run into the front lines. First, Kaluto scatters a massive amount of razor-sharp paper scraps and then manipulates them into a swirling shield wall. Kurapika shouts out, "We have to separate them and get to Chrollo now." Gon charges, then launches a quick Janjanken paper blast at Kaluto's shield, leaving a huge hole right down the middle. Hisoka is the first to leap through, yelling out, "It's a trick, they're using the paper to cover their escape." Hisoka then rushes up the stairs after the spider, with the others not far behind him. It seems the troop already planned their escape routes, as each one takes their own path. Killua calls out he's going after Kaluto, as he quickly outpaces the others and tries finding his brother. Gon heads off after Finks, leaving Kurapika to find Phaeton. But Kurapika thinks for a moment of the 2 troop members stuck downstairs, Machi and Nobunaga. Kurapika thinks his best bet is to quickly finish them off and then catch up to the others. So he quickly takes the stairs back to the first floor, where almost like fate, he runs into Phaeton, trying to release Machi from Hisoka's bungee gum. Phaeton instantly notices the intruder and mumbles about his luck. He then turns to face Kurapika, while promising Machi he'll free her after he kills the chain user. And that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Sorry again for the long wait, but I think now I'll finally be able to make time to upload at least 1 video a week. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you can keep being recommended my videos and be notified whenever I post. Thanks again for watching. I'll talk to you all next time.